Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Sunday. I'm here in Conakry, Guinea. It's July 10, Sunday afternoon, which is the time. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm here in Conakry, Guinea. I accompany the buyer to get the gold. Now, because of the inflation, the price of gold in Conakry, it's very, very expensive. Now, if you are planning to buy gold, whether in Ghana, Sierra Leone, Conakry, Kampala, Congo, Nairobi, the price are all the same. They wouldn't sell cheap price. They wouldn't. Lucky that I'm here, I negotiated the price. The selling price of gold in Conakry, Guinea is 54,000 per kilo, less 5% whatever the price of the gold on the world market. They wouldn't barge in. Why? Because the scarcity of supply and the petrol is too high. So the miner cannot operate without petrol. So there is a costing, there is an overhead. But the trader wanted to get the gold very cheap in order for them to get the profit as well. At the end of the day, the seller has no profit margin. So now I'm explaining to you as an international buyer, if you come by yourself without anybody to assist you, you will fail. I'm telling you, you're gonna fail. Previous weeks, I think 2 to 3 weeks ago, there was a guy, I think I mentioned that on my previous video, that he was communicating with me when I was in Australia. And he was been window shopping, and the seller gave him a low value of gold, not knowing that seller is a broker. He's an agent. So when the buyer from Pakistan arrived in Conakry, he sent me a message on WhatsApp that he is in Conakry. Not knowing the guy from Pakistan, he's staying the same hotel. He was staying at Nom Hotel. And I stayed at Nom Hotel. And I checked out to Nom Hotel and I moved to Kaloum because the manager gave me a very good rate because I know the manager. Kaloum Hotel, across the road, the Central Bank. So this buyer, he's a representative of the company in Dubai. He didn't get the gold. He didn't. Now I understand that is why I do charge my services. Now my services is only to accompany you. To accompany you in order to assist you. But sometimes I am going to negotiate the price. You must remember, I am charging you my services. Because of the inflation and the price goes up, I will also increase my services, my fee. My service fee is to cover my travel cost only. To cover my travel cost, airfare, hotel accommodation, insurance, my food, and other miscellaneous. If you cannot afford, please don't bother to talk to Wilhelmina because I am not interested to babysit you. My job, you look at on my YouTube channel, the procedure is there, the carats, the purity, and the price. Now today, because of the inflation and the scarcity of supply, the seller selling less 5%. Now if you are a trader and you're gonna resell to Dubai, I'm sure your profit is really very minimal, and we don't sell 1 kilo. The seller will sell you minimum at least 10 kilos or 20 at least. And if you keep on changing the contract, please make sure that when you sign a contract, the 10 kilos is 10 kilos. And if you change that 1 kilo to start with, wouldn't work. And if you bargain it, it wouldn't work. Used to be, I asked my head office, my seller, to give you 10% Today, no more. You're lucky if you get 7 to 8%. Lucky. So I am sharing you here, whether you buy in Sierra Leone, Conakry, Mali, Ghana, the price of gold are all the same. You go to the world market, whatever the gold price on the world market, less 5%. I will update time to time the price of gold so that you will understand. If you are just brokering, please stop coming to Wilhelmina because you would never close the deal. My job is different from your online brokering. It's different. I have to be on the ground in order to assist the buyer and the seller. I am charging my fee to the seller. I am also charging my services to the buyer to accompany the buyer. I do charge $15,000, but because the inflation is high, the ticket is high, I am thinking to increase my service fee. My service fee is only to cover my airfare, hotel accommodation, food, and miscellaneous expenses. That's all I charge. But when I'm in the ground, I would assist the buyer to negotiate the price. Now, every seller have a different pricing. Some seller wanted 52, some seller wanted 52, but this time I would not entertain any buyer that cannot afford. Please, Mr. Buyer, do not waste my time. Do not. If you keep on bargain, you're gonna fail. You better keep your money. Or you just buy gold to the refinery. Even in Mali seller would not give his gold. Now, if you are going to buy gold, then Brinks to Brinks, you have to deal with Brinks. Brinks will charge you their logistic cost, and the Brinks will charge you the insurance. This is not CIF, this is FOB. You taste the gold first, then when you like the carats and the purity, the payment bank to bank because of the cash inflow. Now, most of the trader, they have the license to buy, they have the license to export because they wanted to get lower price. The seller would not give it because the seller has a license to export. That is the issue. Now I'm flying this Tuesday. I stop over in Dubai, then I will go home to Australia because of family reason. Right? I have to leave urgently because of the family reason. So my next trip would be in Sierra Leone and Mali. So Mr. Buyer, if you're watching Wilhelmina, be prepared. The gold is not cheap. You know, here in Conakry, people are queuing because of the petrol. The petrol is very high. I think last week there was a rally because of the scarcity of petrol. If the scarcity of petrol, then the miner cannot operate. So then the price is high. So we call that inflation versus supply. Supply is very scarce at the moment. There are so many gold traders wanting the gold. But how are you able to get if you're a bargainer? Very difficult. Very difficult. So I'm just sharing you my experience. Okay? Now, Mr. Buyer, be prepared. And please, if you keep on bargain, you're gonna fail. Now, I'm meeting these big investors. They wanted to invest in gold mine. I'm going to meet these investors in Dubai before I'm going to return to Australia. I'm not going to give you the advice. Don't come to Wilhelmina to ask my advice. I am not an agency. Whatever I explained on the video, listen it, digest it. You might learn out of my explanation. Yeah? There was a gentleman that is from UK, but he was born in Sierra Leone. And he is planning to buy gold. And I told him, you better go to your country, your mother country, and go to the field and deal with that. Because me, I only deal the gold that my seller ready for export, and his price is really premium. Lucky if you're gonna get 5% less. Used to be we give 13%, not anymore because of the scarcity. The seller was telling me, I just sent a guy from New York. He is in Sierra Leone. You know what? The guy in New York is willing to pay 49, but it's really very tight. Lucky because I was in Sierra Leone 5 months ago, and I did send us a buyer representative because the buyer is here with me, and his representative, my seller in Sierra Leone, considered 49. But the price to be reviewed here, the price of gold here, the highest price, 54. The lowest is 52. So I'm negotiating at the moment for my buyer because the buyer wanted more. So there's the seller one selling very tight. This morning I have a negotiation 48, 49, very tight. Because the gold coming from Sigeri and they bring it to Conakry, there's also travel cost. So Mr. Buyer, if you're looking for cheap price, I don't think so. So I'm just explaining to you. If you listen to my explanation, you're a winner. The gold today is scarce because of the world market inflation. It bubbles. The gold is down. Even though its gold is down, the seller will keep his gold. He wouldn't sell cheap price. He wouldn't. I just been to the dealer today. His selling price is 54. I'm gonna have a look at the gold price today. Just a moment. Right? Okay. Now the price of gold today Sunday, is 56. And the dealer that I went to his shop, $54,000 per kilo. It's really very tight. Now I have to come back tomorrow, bargain, and negotiate. I am a very good negotiator. That is why I do charge my service. My service fee, it covers my travel cost, nothing else. And don't blame Wilhelmina if you don't get the gold, because you pay my travel cost. Right? Now, tomorrow I'm going back because my buyer wanted more. The negotiation is very tight. Tomorrow, today is Sunday, right? I negotiated because the owner of the gold has a shop, 48. But it must be confirmed because it's based on the world market. Tomorrow is Monday. So if the price of gold tomorrow high, the price is high as well. The price of gold changes every half an hour. So I'm just explaining to you, Mr. Buyer, so that you would be aware whether you buy gold in Nairobi, whether you buy gold in Kampala, are all the same. Africa is the main source of gold. But Africa seller, very hard to deal with if you don't know the culture. If you don't know me, I'm a very good negotiator, and the seller listen to the woman. But if the buyer is very arrogant, very hard. Just like this Pakistan buyer, he fell, he returned to Dubai. So I'm sharing you this because this is for your own benefit. The price of gold, it varies day to day. Today, the price of gold today Sunday is 56.23.87. Tomorrow is Monday, I don't know. Tuesday, I don't know. So we cannot control the price of gold. The seller is holding the price. The seller is holding the supply. You have the money, your paper money would not get what you're looking for if you don't know how to negotiate, especially if you're arrogant. The African seller is not acceptable of your attitude. If you're a buyer, you need to come down, negotiate. That is why this seller said, oh, Mrs. Ford is a very good negotiator because I'm not grumpy. I just listen to the seller and I also listen to the buyer. I offer negotiation. What is the cause of country doesn't get along with, like Russia and Ukraine? What happened to this country? You don't agree. Then there was a civil war. Buying gold, if you don't agree, you walk out and the seller doesn't want to deal with you. So you as the buyer, when you travel, maybe if you're gonna travel to Nairobi, you have to be flexible, Mr. Buyer. If you travel to Mali, you need to be flexible. If you travel to Ghana, you need to be flexible. I've been to Ghana. Ghana gold is very expensive. Yeah, very expensive. You will never get gold in Ghana very cheap. Never. Most of the gold in Ghana is smuggled from Cameroon, is smuggled from Sierra Leone, is smuggled from border to border. But when it enter into the country, the price would be different. So I'm just explaining to you, Mr. Buyer. Believe me, you will never get the gold if you are really arrogant. Okay? So I'm just explaining to you in order for you to understand plenty of gold in Africa, but their price is not cheap price at all. Now I'm going to Dubai to meet these investors. I have been talking to him for 6 months. Now he decided to drive from Oman to Dubai to see me. He's hiring me instead. He's hiring me as his consultant now. He said to me, Wilhelmina, I've been talking to you for 6 months that my company decided you're going to work with us as our consultant to travel to Africa in order to negotiate the supply. Can you imagine that? But I said to this buyer, I will see. Because I'm not going to be involved immediately. I don't believe it. I will see. So he's going to drive to see me on Tuesday because I'm going to stop over in Dubai only for him. Then I will be in my home base office. My office is portable. I am a freelancer negotiator. I don't work for anyone. You as the buyer, you need my services. The seller needs Wilhelmina's services. I market their production through the global village. That is the reason why the buyer, when you search gold on YouTube channel and Facebook, my video pop up into your screen. I am the only person who show my face. Like this morning, early morning, a guy from UK, he saw my YouTube channel. He come to me and I told him I am not going to advise anyone. I'm not. You walk into your lawyer's office, you're gonna be paid. You're gonna be charged. I am charging this time. I wouldn't deal with chain or broker anymore. It's too messy, very messy. I know my seller. You will only know the seller when you come for video conference. After you watch this video, every video, the full corporate offer is on every video. You click below, subscribe it, or you go to my Facebook, you read very details. And if you understand, then there's a time you come for conference. If you don't understand, go back and reread again, go back and digest again, go back and listen to this video. Mr. Buyer, I don't have time to teach people. I am not a babysitter. This is a real business. I only charge you my services in order to accompany you. But before I'm going to accompany you, the contract has to be signed first. Your order must be minimum order. Must be. If you cannot meet the criteria, I wouldn't travel. It's not worth it. You are giving me a headache. I don't want a headache. That's the reason why I'm always explaining on my video that you need to sign a contract. Your orders 10 to 20, no change, no but, no if. Okay? Thank you very much, Mr. Buyer. Listen to this video, read the full corporate offer, digest it properly, and if you cannot digest, please don't bother to come to Wilhelmina. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant good afternoon.